WCBI News at 10 starts now.
That's West Point native James White playing taps in honor of his grandfather, the late Sammy Lee White Sr., who was a World War II veteran. He too lived in West Point. White joined millions of Americans this Memorial Day, remembering those who laid down their lives in service for our country. Well, this Memorial Day, it has been different. Many Americans have had to resort to virtual events to remember those who died fighting for our country. But in the city of Tupelo, a crowd did gather for one of the few in-person services in our area. Our Quentin Smith was at the annual Memorial Day service and shows us how the All-America City is remembering and honoring fallen soldiers.
Many veterans call it an honor to serve their country. And on Memorial Day, they say it's their duty to honor those who gave their last measure of devotion fighting for the freedoms that we have today.
Memorial Day is a special day.
We go for barbecue and cookouts, but it's so much more than that. And this is just a reminder that our freedoms aren't free.
There's a wall over there, with a bunch of names on it, and quite a few of my friends' names are on that wall. So that means a lot to me.
For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Not everybody's going to have the opportunity to serve for whatever reason, but we can all live a life respectful of those that have served.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Well, I spent 8 years as a prisoner of war. That's pretty significant. So when we came home, we were very proud of our service and the rest of the guys that we were with. They were brothers. It was my life then, and as I remember now, it's the best thing I ever did.
It's our duty, like you said, to remember those and to live a life in honor and out of respect. Give more of ourselves for those that gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Our country is because of them, and everything they've done and everything they've sacrificed just makes, the difference for everybody.
Well, it's more than a duty. It's imbued in me that I should give reverence to those who gave their lives for our country.
After the memorial service, many people came to view the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, taking in all of the names listed on the wall. Many say this is their way to say thank you for those who gave their all serving and fighting for this country. Reporting in Tupelo, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
Colonel Kelly Mims, who also serves as the District 1 Circuit Court Judge, was the guest speaker for today's program. Mims has served 3 tours overseas with the Mississippi National Guard. Those who have lost a loved one in service to the country feel Memorial Day deepest, but a close second is the military family. That's why today is no day off for the nation's top military leader. CBS's Nora O'Donnell joined the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff as he paid his respects to America's heroes.
Today's ceremonies are to pause and remember the hefty price of freedom. But while Arlington is closed to the public this year, Chairman Milley wants to make sure every American's eyes are open to the sacrifice of service.
It's important that I come here and reflect and remember the fallen. I have soldiers that are buried here that died under my command.
Captain Michael Tarlovsky was an immigrant who became one of Milley's best lieutenants.
I encouraged him to go to Special Forces and become a Green Beret. He did that, and he's killed in action in Iraq.
Oh my gosh.
We visited his grave during the Flags In tradition, when the old guard places more than 240,000 flags at each headstone in 4 hours with military precision. A boot length, a flag, a prayer.
Tough kid, hard kid. So if you don't mind, I'm going to plant a flag for him. Say a little prayer.
Why a flag at every gravestone?
Because that is the symbol of our nation. That's the symbol of the freedom that we all enjoy. And every single one of them served their country. And many of them were killed in action defending those very freedoms that are symbolized by that flag.
Krista Anderson's husband, Staff Sergeant Michael Simpson, was killed in 2013, just 25 days after arriving in Afghanistan. This must be a hard weekend.
Actually, it's my favorite weekend of the year. We remember him every day, and this weekend everybody does.
Staff Sergeant Simpson was a Green Beret. So was Chairman Milley.
You take this from me. This is my beret. And that's in honor of your dad, okay? Just like your dad's.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Milley says for the families of the fallen, every day is Memorial Day. But today, all Americans remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Pretty nice weather overall for our Memorial Day weekend. A bit rocky there Saturday with numerous showers and storms. We caught a shower there and a brief rainbow in Louisville, Mississippi this evening with one of those stray downbursts. Now, we still have a little bit of rain on radar, some isolated showers drifting back to the northwest. Can't rule out one of those as we go throughout the overnight hours. It's going to stay mild tonight. The wind is relaxed a little bit, upper 60s for lows. And for our day tomorrow, here's our first alert forecast. We've got ACE protecting the head with a helmet for the chance for some showers and thunder showers. We will have some scattered showers and thunder showers around with an area of low pressure in the region. So we're ballparking highs somewhere in the upper 70s to low and mid 80s. We'll talk about your full forecast coming up.
You may have noticed the price of the meat for your Memorial Day cookout was significantly higher than last year, if you were able to find any at all. Outbreaks of coronavirus have shuttered meatpacking plants across the country, cutting off supplies in some areas, slowing shipments in others. Well, those problems have one city in California teaming up with processors to get things under control.
On a daily basis, prior to COVID-19, we can have up to 54,000 employees working in the city. So it's a community city with employees coming from all over Southern California.
The industrial city of Vernon has had COVID-19 outbreaks at 9 facilities, including 5 meatpacking plants, according to LA County health officials. The largest outbreak happened at the Smithfield Foods-owned Farmer John plant, where the Dodger dog is made, and where 153 out of about 1,800 employees have tested positive for COVID-19. Freddie Adrian is Vernon's Director of Health and Environmental Control.
I visited some of these plants. I actually visited Farmer John back in mid-April. They have, yes, people do work in close contact. However, they have put measures in place like putting petitions between where they can have a 6-foot social distancing.
Adrian says the city and the facilities are focusing on making sure sick employees don't come to work.
They have a thermometer that checks employee temperature coming into the plant, and it read out on the big screen so somebody can monitor, they can see it. If they meet that criteria that they may have a fever, which is 104, they send them back to go home.
LA County Supervisor Hilda Solis also says public health experts are making sure employees with the virus and their families remain quarantined to minimize exposure to others. And in a statement, Smithfield says, our Smithfield family members are crucial to our nation's response to COVID-19. We thank them for keeping food on America's tables and have implemented aggressive measures to protect their health and safety during the pandemic. City officials say the first cases at the plants were reported in March, and part of the reason the number of cases are growing is likely there's more testing. LA County Health Director Barbara Ferrer also says many of the workers live in adjacent LA communities, so they are monitoring the outbreaks closely. Hermela Argawi, KCAL 9 News.
When it comes to one commodity, there is too much supply and not enough demand. Dairy farmers have seen orders dry up because schools and restaurants across the country are closed. Now a partnership that has formed that is helping farmers and processors get dairy products to people who really need them. CBS's Carter Evans has more.
Images like these are causing a national outcry over spilled milk. a Payne, Utah dairy farmer, Mitch Hancock, knows well. His cows keep making milk, but with demand down 50% due to restaurant and school closings, he recently dumped 28,000 gallons.
Our hard labor has gone literally down the drain. It's a little bit disheartening.
But what is truly heartbreaking, he says, are record-setting lines at food banks.
Why can't you just give the milk away raw?
One is a health issue. The milk being raw is prone to bacteria.
You want to make sure that pasteurization happens.
Christy Spence with Dairy West says the industry group came up with a solution.
Farmers are still getting paid for their milk. The processors are allowing their employees to continue working, and then we would in turn donate that to the food bank system.
They call it Curds and Kindness and raised $3 million in donations to save milk destined for disposal. They processed it into cheese and butter and brought it directly to those in need.
It means a lot. We wouldn't be able to make it without it.
Jackie Anderson never expected to be at a food bank, but now this Utah mom is jobless with 6 kids to feed.
The 2 toddlers in the house, both for milk, like you wouldn't believe.
It's a great opportunity for us to feel like we're contributing.
Families in need, counting on the milkman to deliver. Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Another top story in North Mississippi today. A man accused of murder in West Point is behind bars tonight. Richard Rains turned himself in to police earlier today. The Clay County man is accused of shooting and killing Curtis Williams Jr. Sunday night at the Relax Inn. Chief Avery Cook says that the 2 men got into an argument that escalated, leading to the shooting. Williams was pronounced dead at the scene. Chief Cook says Rains will be charged with first-degree murder.
Very devastating because at this point we lose 2 lives in the community for something as senseless as taking someone's life, shooting, and being at a holiday and with all other stuff going on in the world right now. You have something like this happen to a family for the victim and the suspect. It's not great for the community, and our sympathy goes out to both families, and we're going to do our best to bring this thing to a closure.
Rains' arraignment is scheduled for tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. We'll, of course, keep you updated there. Switching gears now, we're going to send things back over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith, I said it earlier, summer it feels like it's here in Mississippi.
It's essentially here, even though this weekend, the unofficial start of summer, Scott, summer really here. We know it's been warm. The UV index still moderate to high tomorrow, even though we will have some scattered showers and storms around. Just be aware the sun is very powerful this time of the year. Protect your skin if you will be out and about. Your full forecast is next.
First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Not too bad today, a mix of sun and clouds, warm. At least we had a bit of a breeze. Our time lapse from downtown Tupelo this evening shows some of those clouds going away. Our time lapse from Vernon at Durham's Pharmacy, much the same story. Some clouds moved on through the setting sun. Pretty nice if you were out and about this evening. We still have a few blips on radar, but overall things pretty tame in general. Tomorrow in Vernon, we start out around 70, back into the low 80s in the afternoon, but we do expect some scattered showers and storms. So here's our city-by-city forecast for tomorrow. Winds from the southeast 5 to 15, at least stirring up the breezes. Lower 80s for you in the west Alabama. Maybe some low to mid 80s across Mississippi. We're really ballparking things upper 70s to low and mid 80s. It's really all dependent on where the clouds are thickest, where the storms are, where the rain is. But we do have a chance for some showers and storms in the region again tomorrow. A few isolated blips here, some isolated showers from Aliceville back down to the southwest. Also a little thunder shower near Philadelphia. This is all spinning back to the northwest around an area of low pressure that is centered out in Texas and Oklahoma. The bigger storms this evening have been in Arkansas and northeastern Oklahoma, but those are moving back to the northwest. And this feature, this area of low pressure, will take the next couple of days to cross the region. So that is why we will have an opportunity for more rain and storms. So tomorrow morning we wake up around 70, probably not a lot going on, but by midday and thereafter, a better chance for some of those scattered showers and storms. Notice 70s and the 80s out there. Again, as I mentioned, temperatures all based on where these showers and storms go. Tomorrow evening, we may see some of those storms linger in the region into tomorrow night too, much like what's going on in Arkansas tonight. That could be a little bit farther east tomorrow night. So we'll wait and see about that. As we get into our Wednesday, more scattered showers and storms. Where have you heard that? that before. That's just a story of the Deep South in the summertime. Rain and storms primarily during the heating of the day, and then a lot of that will wane as we get into the overnight hours and then flare back up the next day as we get a little bit warmer. Rainfall anywhere from about a ½ inch to maybe 1 to 2 or 3+ inches of rain. It just all depends where the activity develops. It's all going to be random, but the opportunity for some rain exists between tomorrow and Friday. Rain chances go down a little bit Saturday. We'll keep that in the forecast, but things look to be drying out by the weekend and next week, and that's good news considering some of the wet weather we have had around here. Scott?
For sports fans, it's been a long spring and it could be a long summer. We take a look at the possible future of sports a little bit later.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. Cardiovascular disease, including heart disease and stroke, is the leading cause of death in Mississippi, accounting for over 1/3 of all deaths here in the state. Mississippi's CVD mortality rate remains the highest in the nation. We learn more tonight in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Belinda Sanderson, Director of Quality at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. Tonight I would like to talk with you about stroke. A stroke is a brain attack. It can happen to anyone at any time. It occurs when the blood flow to an area of the brain is cut off. When this happens, brain cells are deprived of oxygen and begin to die. When the brain cells die during a stroke, abilities controlled by that area of the brain, such as memory and muscle control, are lost. How a person is affected by the stroke depends on where the stroke occurs in the brain and how much of the brain is damaged. For example, someone who had a small stroke may only have minor problems such as temporary weakness of an arm or leg. People who have larger strokes may be permanently paralyzed on one side of their body or lose their ability to speak. Some people recover completely from strokes, but more than 2/3 of the survivors will have some type of disability. Each year, nearly 800,000 people experience a new or recurrent stroke. A stroke happens every 40 seconds. Stroke is the 5th leading cause of death in the United States. Someone dies from a stroke every 4 minutes. Up to 80% of strokes can be prevented. Stroke is a leading cause of disability in the United States. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we will discuss transient ischemic attack and other forms of stroke.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Could football be coming back to empty stadiums? We look at some ideas for the post-corona future of sports when we come back. As sports fans mark more missed milestones off their calendars, many are wondering not only when sports will return, but what the events will look like when they do. Tyler Shaw from CBS affiliate KBTX in College Station, Texas, talks with a medical expert.
Dr. Glenn Copeland is a medical advisor working with sports leagues globally to bring sports back. He believes if the professional leagues can pull it off this summer, college football should have a successful return this fall.
Players at the NCAA level are much more controllable than pro players because these are kids in college. They're going to listen to the coaching. They're going to listen to the staff. They're going to listen to their trainers. They're going to listen to their team doctors. And I got a lot of faith that NCAA will do very well.
But Dr. Copeland does not anticipate the normal sea of maroon and white at Kyle Field this year.
Do I see 85,000 people in a stadium in September? I give you a huge, big question mark. I doubt it.
Copeland says he would take a more conservative approach and encourage social distancing to start the season.
Could we mitigate the risk? Sure, there's ways. You can space people out. So you got a 100,000 seat stadium. Maybe there's only the first game 20%.
Here we go! This summer will be a lot of wait and see what happens as the economy gradually opens back up.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. If you said, is this season going to be like it was last season? Not a chance. Not now. Not now. Saying that in September, there may not be any new cases of COVID.
No matter what happens this football season, Aggies are already planning and preparing for when they can make their return at full strength.
Sports are going to be there long past me and you, I can promise you. And this will be a great experience that we'll look back on and learn from. The Aggies will ride again, and they'll lead again, and they'll be champions again. It just might look a little different this year.
It'll be interesting to see for sure. We'll have a last look at your forecast when we come back.
Still a few isolated showers and thunder showers drifting across the region from northwest to southeast. Far southwestern Winston, Noxubee County, Pickens County, a little bit of rain out there right now. Now tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, decent chance for some scattered showers and storms again. We stay in the 80s for the most part. Overnight lows in the 60s. I think we'll start to dry things out, Scott, by the weekend. So if you have some weekend plans, I know we just had a long weekend, but your weekend plans could be looking pretty good again.
Hey, I was about to say, as long as that rain clears out by the weekend. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.